UNC, Wake, and Duke. What is success going to look like in this stretch for Louisville?
That's a great question, and I'm going to start out by saying this. I went back and looked at Louisville's win against Miami. It really is more impressive than it was probably given credit for. It's the worst. It's the most anybody's beat Miami in Miami since the 2021 season. So I don't think that win needs to be discounted. They did not back it up by beating North Carolina State when they could have. They weren't ready really from the beginning to attack the press. I don't know what they can do against North Carolina except don't get blown out.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. If they do not get blown out, this will be a successful 3-game stretch. On to the next
first
topic.
Game.
That's not. I don't know. I mean, it's tough when you're defining success by anything other than winning games or being competitive. I do think they need to be competitive, and it's just like I go back to the beginning of the season. People said, "How do we judge the success of Kenny Payne?" And I kind of thought, well, we'll know when we see it. We'll know what it looks like, and there'll be a consensus. I don't know if there's going to be any consensus on what success looks like.
No, there won't be.
The next 3 games, but they do need to fight. They do need to be competitive. They need to play smart basketball. Going back to NC State, I watched that game on video, and I thought there was too much dribbling. And then I listened to Bob Valvano, who says, NC State, that's what they do. The more you pass the ball, the further away from the basket you wind up. That's just the nature of their defense. What you have to beat them is you have to beat them on the dribble, have somebody get a good matchup on the perimeter, beat them on the dribble, and then open it up. Start the merry-go-round, as he calls it. Start passing the ball and get them reacting. Louisville couldn't do that very much. There were a lot of one-man possessions in that game, and yet offensively, they were fine. I thought it was defensively that Louisville's problem, and I think that is the big problem for this team going forward. They're, 228 in defensive efficiency in the country. Only DePaul and power conferences is lower. They're 80 spots below the next lowest team in the ACC. As much as they fixed some issues on offense, they need to turn their attention to defense. Maybe that's where we look for success in these next few games.
When you're playing Carolina, the number one thing is get back on defense because they like to go. They've always run the corner break. Hubert Davis is a descendant of Roy Williams, who was a descendant of Dean Smith, and that's what Carolina likes to do. This year, with Caleb Love gone, now they've got R.J. Davis purely in charge of the team, and he is a go point guard. I guess success against Carolina would be keep the game close for as long as you can. It's hard for me to see them beating Carolina because Carolina's really good and on a roll. They're unbeaten in the ACC. Go into Wake, that's a game they could possibly win. Wake's good, not great. And then Duke at home, who knows what's going to happen. Duke's played well so far in the ACC, but they got a lot of young players. I guess the best I could hope in this stretch is they steal one of the 3 somehow.
Yeah. I'm looking for defense improvement at some point. I keep feeling like, and it probably has already gotten to this, but when you got 7, 8 guys, depth is going to become a factor. And you can win with 7 or 8 guys, but if that's all you got to even play, it's tough. You can catch every episode of Overtime on WDRB+.
Download the app on your phone or TV today.